Right, we're back. This is a group collab, so in the description below, if you click that downwards arrow, you'll see the links to the other artists who are in this collaboration with me. So this is this is a bit of a tricky kind of combo that I came up with. It's an idea. We've been playing around with it and trying to get this to work, and it's kind of combining the flower bloom with some Petri. I mean, we've been doing some big tests with this, had lots of fails, had some. Kind of what we want is to get the center of the flower as natural as possible. I mean, these were some attempts, but they're not very good. I've even see, the trouble is when you ignore the bloom because it didn't work, when you use the alcohol inks, they just want to push outwards, and it kind of creates this fairy effect. So I tried a disc, which just stands out too much, doesn't really blend in. I tried an insert, so I cut the top of a shot glass off, left that in there because the barrier kind of helps keep the alcohol ink in the middle, but it still doesn't look natural. So we're going to have a play around today. I'm going to be using the Let's Resin 1.1. We're going to be using, for the majority of the colour, the latest Let's Resin 26 ink set, which is kind of a combo between the 18 ink concentrated set and the 22 ink vibrant set. They've brought some over from the vibrant set and sadly taken a couple away. Ocean Blue is one of them. And we're also going to be using, I don't know whether I use this exact colour, but it's the opaque. Now I've tried with the Sea Deeper and it just spreads too fast. I've tried with Pinata, these ones were with Pinata, but then I've tried again with Pinata and had zero effect at all. So it's kind of hit and miss. It's going to be a kind of playing around with it. You'll see the other artists have probably done it in a different way to me. And if you give this a go, if you're a YouTuber or if you're on Facebook, you know, tag us in the results, let us see how you do it. And I think between us as a community, we can kind of get this spot on, hopefully. But I'm going to just have a play around today and hopefully I can get some results. I'm going to use like an insert on one of them, but what we'll do is we'll take that out, obviously before the resin is cured. Maybe after an hour or so, just slowly lift that out, and hopefully that will keep the effect in the middle. I might try just covering the back with the opaque, but what we need to do is when we've got our resin all sorted and poured and we do our bloom first, we need to kind of leave an area in the middle for us to then be able to play around with our ink. So I'm going to mix up and get ready, and we'll be back soon. Right, my resin is all mixed up. Now I've made another video, I've not uploaded it yet explaining this, but I'll explain it in this video as well. I know in my previous bloom videos I got my resin up to 42 degrees Celsius. You don't need to do that. Mine's taken probably about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We're looking at 21 degrees Celsius, which is, I think it's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll have to check. I've got some micro bubbles in there, but I'm not worried about that. So it's kind of just warm to touch, not hot, just very lukewarm, and that's kind of the consistency we need. I'll get much better blooms with this temperature than the previous warmer temperature. So you know, you don't have to wait that hour long for your resin to be ready to pour. It's kind of good to go now. So I'm going to get my piping bag ready, fill my cup. I'm going to create a vacuum by pulling it down really hard, and that will make the bag very tight inside, just to make the resin and the pigment paste easier to flow down into the tip of the pipe. So now that's ready, I'm going to just pour out my resin and we'll start with the alcohol inks. And silly me, I've not mixed up enough resin. So I've got hope I can get this right with just the 3 coasters. But again, this is just a kind of a play around, just to see if we can get the effects that we want. I really don't think I've got enough for a 4th. This set is a 4 coaster set with the stand. I measured out the whole quantity with the stand, but forgot to write down the separate measurements for the individual coasters. So we're going to start dropping our inks. Tell a lie, we're going to mix up our. I don't know whether to risk it. Thing is, I need to leave enough for my white. Let's just see if I can get a thin one. Maybe we'll use it as a tester. Really need. It's going to be very shallow. Very shallow. Right, anyway. The Armour Art White Pigment Paste, 20% discount code in my description below. And be sure to use your 10% off the Let's Resin products. You don't want a lot of this because if we use too much, I've experienced it, we get blobbing. And we don't want blobbing. Just a small amount. And I'm going to mix some mica powder in with this as well. And just see how that consistency is. We want it to be opaque, obviously. Right, I'll pause here, get this poured in the bag, and then we'll continue. I forgot mica powder. This has gone wrong so many times for me now. I'm kind of expecting the worst to happen again, but we'll just see. Right, back in the mo. Right, so now we're going to do one with insert this disc, and we're going to centralize that as best as possible, and then just we'll take that out in about an hour. Right, so this is, we're going to try adding the opaque to this top left to begin with. Just really make sure you shake these up because the white can be kind of settled in the bottom. And then I'm just going to drop that one in the center. Couple of drops. You can see how much it wants to kind of spread out. Right, now for the colors, we're going to keep that one just as it is, and then bottom left we're going to go with some lemon yellow in the middle. We're still going to go over this with opaque afterwards. Just see how they turn out. This is the orange. You can see that top left opaque has really spread out. It's not going to give us that effect when it does that. Well, this one's just a normal yellow. Again, I've tried this with the CD Pro and it just really spreads out way too far. Now we're going to go in with some red, and the one to the left of it I'm going to go in with some red as well, just in those negative spaces there. Now we're going to do the same with the opaque on this one, but it's not going to be able to spread out because we've got that natural, well not natural, we've got that barrier. Just a few drops and just let that, it can't go past. You know, this could work really well, but to me I want to be able to do this without that. So I think in this one down here we're going to go in with some peach red in the negative space now. I know it's a tester, it's very shallow, I might get some blobbing. I think we'll go in that one with some colour as well. Maybe some red. Again. And then some purple. Or purplish red. Again, thanks to all my subs. All my new subs. If you haven't subbed, just click there for me. Big shout out to my channel members. Right. You just see that's really spread out quite far. We're going to have to go over that again with some more. But we're going to kind of test a couple of different ways. Sorting my bag out. I've cut the excess off. Just get it as close to the tip as possible. Twist it, not too tight because you don't want to pop the bag. And then we just secure that, as I always do, with my paper clip. Now I've snipped off my tip and I'm going to go with the same design. I kind of didn't want this to spread out as much as it has, but we're going to go with the same kind of design on all of them, I think. Just keep going around and you should start seeing this bloom within the first couple of minutes of me doing this. Lock my focus before we move on. Now the tricky thing is with this one is we've got that ring in the middle, so we don't want to touch that. So we're going to really carefully, if it works, go around that ring, and then what we'll do in about an hour, maybe 40 minutes, come back, remove the ring and then draw in the design. Hopefully we can kind of make it look a bit more natural. I just hope I've put enough white pigment in this because it's looking very translucent. But we'll see. Running low. Definitely need to write down my measurements. So again, we're still leaving that area in the middle because we're still going to go in with some opaque. One of them I'm not going to do them straight away because we've seen how much that's spreading in that top one. So I think we'll come back and do different time drops. If that makes sense. Not really got much left in my bag. Lucky this is just a tester. It's very shallow. See if I can get any more out. Just go round again. As I use it all up. Yeah, again, if you give this a try, give us all a tag in the video. Be interesting to see how others do this. We've got some kind of webbing going on, so we're going to add another drop or two just to try and close that up. Right, I think we're going to wait about half an hour, 40 minutes and come in. Actually, what I want to do first with these ones is just draw in our design. I've snapped my stick. Right, let's come in. Should really wipe my stick before I do this on each dip, but it doesn't matter. Watch, the test piece will probably come out the best. Again on this one. Same design. Obviously the one with the ring in, we're going to come back and do the design once we pull the ring out. Right, this one, I think I'm just going to go in as many times as I possibly can. See, it's pulling that opaque inwards. So maybe it could still work. But I'm inclined to add another drop when we do the others in a little while. Looks a bit funky, doesn't it? Right, I'll see you shortly. It's been about half an hour. You can see how much that's pushed inwards. We're not going to take that out yet. The bloom is just visible, so I'm probably going to have to add a background to these. But what I'm going to do is the colour that I used in these two top ones was the opaque wheat. So I'm just going to add another drop to this one now. It's probably not going to be visible through the bloom. Add a couple of drops just to see what happens. And now for this one here, you've got just a small visible window, so I'm going to use the normal yellow opaque over the top, and hopefully that will show through. We don't want it spreading too much, but just enough to give us that effect on there. And we're going to do this one. What, should we do it now? Yeah, let's do it now. We're going to do that with the yellow as well. It's a tester piece anyway. Just a couple of drops, and we'll be back in about another half hour or so to take out this one and draw in the design. See you in a bit. Right, it's time to do the disc. Well, remove this tubing. This could be messy. I'm just going to slowly lift it. I'm just hoping it's not still going to spread out. There's a big risk that comes with this, with blobbing, all sorts. So I've just got to gently lift it out. Let the resin fall off of the tube. And just keep my fingers crossed. And then we can draw in our design. I'm going to keep lifting it and lowering it. As you can see, it's kind of drawing the ink out of the resin. So this is not the way I want to be doing this. It's created like a bubble. And it's drifting as well. I try and drift it back. I don't know whether to hit it with some heat maybe. Whether that might. This is like a, you see it's like a bubble wand. If I just pierce the side, hopefully. There you go. That helped. Use a stick. It's kind of drifted a bit, but I'm not that fussed. I just wanted that to stay round. So now we can draw in our design. You can see it's already starting to give the effect there. So I've just got to hope that I can get the design in. It's quite thick now. That's the thing. The resin is pretty thick. So I don't know whether to leave it or just come in a little bit. We want to keep it round, don't we? So I might just come in a little bit just to give some kind of effect, but not to disturb the middle too much. Maybe draw out. Doesn't matter if the resin goes over the sides. That'll fall down. Right, so I think this one might be a good one. We'll come back, and I think I'm going to add a background just to make those, just to make the petals stand out a bit more. I just didn't want to add too much white in case it blobbed. Right, see you soon. Right, we're going to add a background now. You can see this one's kind of drifted over, but I quite like the look of that natural effect. And this one has drifted a little bit. We can see some of the effect through that colour, and this one we can't really tell at all. Kind of looks like a daisy at the moment. So we've got our 36 set of mica powder to choose from. I'm going to pick one that's going to kind of complement these as much as possible, and then we'll start mixing. Not to everybody's taste, not everyone's cup of tea. We're going to go with gold. So I'm not going to use too much. Use the other side, I think. Come out. Just see how that goes. Hopefully I won't get any lumps. So I'm going to continue mixing this off camera, and you're not missing much. I might add some more if I need to. Right, all mixed. I've got a lot of bubbles in there, but I'll come back in about 10 minutes and just tap with some heat to get rid of them. Should hopefully make the white bloom a lot more visible. I hope I've mixed enough to cover all. Right, I'm just going to spread this around now. I'll do it off camera. And then we will be back for the demold. I'll see you soon. Right, we're back. Don't be like Dan. Don't be too impatient when you're adding your second layer, because I didn't wait long enough. So it kind of dipped and started sinking. I just hope it hasn't kind of pushed the bloom or the effects down onto the mould. But yeah, you can see there's some negative space around the edges. Don't do a Dan. So what I did is yesterday I filmed 2 videos just in case this went wrong. So what I'm going to do, instead of uploading them, you know, choosing between the 2, I've made some other pieces that I'm going to demold on this video. Same technique, just in a square, in the square molds. Right, let's see if we've got it. You can see that blob. Oh, it's there. It's just not. I think that's too strong for my liking, and I wish I hadn't added that gold background. That's just too in your face, I think. I think I added quite a bit to that one. Oh wow, that looks like a watercolor. You can see the effect. It's kind of getting that happy medium. To me, that's not enough, but then that's too much. But you can see, kind of looks like a natural, definitely looks like a watercolor. And I like that it's off center. Looks more natural. But this is the one that we just used the white. I'm just hoping the gold hasn't taken away the look. Oh wow, the gold has taken it away a little bit, but you can still see that shimmer of the petals. Almost looks like a daisy. You've got that really cool. That, I think, is how we want the middle, maybe without that patch, but I wish I hadn't used that gold now. I'm happy with that one. Yeah, so I'm going to demold the other 4 just to see if there's any difference. Oh wow, it's there. That's perfect. Again, that gold just kind of killed it a bit. Right, let's see if we've got anything different. No. See, with this one, I rushed as well. I was in such a rush yesterday. I'm going to have to kind of sand down these edges. Yeah, overfilled it and took my eye off the ball. It's different. It hasn't got that kind of typical Petri centre. The gold doesn't look too bad on this one. It's different. Again, it's too much. Wow. It's almost there. You can still see, you know, it's not an effect that you can get without adding the Petri. Again, it kind of looks like a watercolour. I think it's got to be that way, isn't it? Just adds a different kind of vibe to the bloom. Last one. Again, if you haven't subbed, hit that sub button for me. Give the video a thumbs up and drop a comment. That was the baby pink. I used a peach red in the middle, and I added the hot pink opaque. So it hasn't really given it that. It's got a bit of a blob there. Hasn't given it that kind of Petri effect that these have got, but it's certainly different. Right, again, check out the links in the description below for the other artists. It'll be really interesting to see how they've done their pieces. I've had some sneak peeks and they look really good. So yeah, go check them out and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.